What is going on, guys? Spacecam20 back in with a brand new video. We are here for a Nations Cup race, our first race of the season, since we weren't able to run any Nations Cup races on Saturday, since I don't know why, but GT Sport decided to put the Nations Cup and the Manufacturer Cup on the same day on Saturdays. Not a really smart move in my opinion, kind of annoying, as I wish that they could have one on Saturday and one on Sunday so we have enough time to practice for both, just like they do for the Tuesday and Wednesday one. But you can see we are starting here in the Alfa Romeo, the 4-seat Group 4 edition car, as that was the best car on this racetrack, as we are here at Dragon Trails. And so yeah, that's going to be the kind of the combination that we're going to be running here, as there's a couple of other cars running other stuff like the Renault, and I think I saw even like a Lancer being ran around here. But we are here again at Dragon Trails. The compound for this race is going to be the mediums and the hards, as both of them are going to be required for the race. And I'll explain the strategy a little later on into the video. So before we jump into the qualifying, if you guys enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the video, as it really helps out the channel when you guys do so. Anyways, that's enough promoting myself. Let's jump straight into qualifying. So as we jump into qualifying, I was feeling a little bit confident on this track. I've actually been able to get really good lap times, about a 1:37. But it's really difficult to get a good lap on here, as you can make a lot of mistakes, especially on the 4 left-hand turns, as you'll see a little further into the video. Coming out of the final corner now, as we are on our last flyer lap, we actually go a little bit wide, as we right now have a 138.4 from the lap previous. Try to improve on that, but we are unable to, and we're going to be qualifying so far in 11th place, as we're waiting for the rest of the people to finish their qualifying spots. As I think there's still one car. Yep, there's one car right behind us that could still overtake us. But jumping to the end of qualifying, you see that we are able to hold off 11th place, so that's going to be our starting position. I think we could have done a little bit better. As you can see, we're only 8/10 away from pole position, but that's just going to be the fight that we're going to have to accomplish whenever we are doing our racing. So jumping into the points now to see how much we're going to be running for. You can see that you actually get 235 points if you get first place. So since we're starting 11th, I mean, first place might be a little bit difficult to get, so we're just going to shoot for a podium and see if we can try to accomplish that, and just work our way through the field as patient as we can, and try to make as many overtakes as we can to get the best result on the race. So coming to the intro here, the strategy that we're going to be running, we're going to be starting off on the mediums, as the tire wear really isn't that bad here, but the fuel is one thing that we have to keep an eye on. So we're going to try to stay behind the slipstream of a lot of cars and save some fuel as we're heading through the race. But again, we're going to start on the mediums, stay on the mediums all the way up until maybe lap 10 or 11, depending on how much fuel we save, because that's going to basically determine whether we're going to come into the pits or not, as the tire wear doesn't go bad like other races, but the fuel does. So once we switch off from the mediums, we're going to switch straight to the hards, and it's just going to be a one stop from there. And then just kind of just focus on our driving, make sure that we make as many overtakes as we can, and hopefully we can finish in a good result as we come into the race. Jumping to the grid now, we are getting the 5 red lights as we are waiting for them to patiently go out. The lights go out and we are away as we set our traction control to 1, and we're going to switch it back to 0 as we come down the start finish line now, down the straightaway, heading us into turn number 1. You see 2 cars ahead of us are already beating and banging us. We're trying to make a move onto the inside of the Renault. He gets backed up a little bit, and we're able to move onto the inside, as right behind us there's some cars going 3 wide, and ahead of us there's cars going 3 wide. As we are able to make the move onto the Renault now, we're going side by side as we're drag racing down the straight line. Right behind the Alpha right there, actually the 2 Alpha right ahead of us. There's a car onto the inside, so this is going to probably not end well for us, as we're heading into this 4 left-hander here. Brake early, try to give as much room as we can to the inside, but we're getting pushed out. We actually get bumped out wide to the red part of the racetrack, and we lose about 4 positions there, as we were in 11th place. The Alpha goes a little bit wide on the outside. In front of us, he actually spins out another Alpha, and we avoid those 2 cars. Almost get involved in direct, but we're able to hold it together, and we make up 2 positions as we come down into this S section of the racetrack, leading us into the straightaway that takes us into the right corner. So very, very entertaining first part of the lap there, as we're heading now into this right hand that's going to lead us into the straightaway. Coming down to the chicane, we're going to jump up a little bit and see what happens here on the replay. So coming ready to the replay, you see that the Renault right here just forces the car ahead of him out, and that forces me out wide. And because of that, the Alpha is right behind us, as you can see he's right next to him. The colorful Alpha ahead of him just gets loose, gets tapped, spins the other Alpha out, and luckily we're able to avoid that Alpha as we come down the straightaway now, leading us into the chicane. So able to string out a little bit here, as we're still we're behind the train now of 12th place. As we head into the chicane, we're just gonna have to focus on catching up to him. as we are only 4 seconds away from the leader. So staying right behind him as we come into the chicane now. We hit the apex a little too rough there as we hit the sausage, bounces out a little bit, but no harm, no foul as we jump up into lap number 2. So coming into lap number 2 now, still right behind the Alpha as we head into this 4 left-hander. We gain a good run on him as we're heading into this left-hander here. Try to make a move onto the inside, but it's a little too optimistic. Make contact with him. That was our fault. We just had too much momentum coming into that final corner there. Allow him to get ahead of us again as we're heading into the S section now of this racetrack. Coming out of the left-hander here, we're staying right behind the Alpha as we come into the right-hander. Staying right behind him as he's kind of holding us up, though, as we're going into this right-hander. You see right ahead of us, they're fighting with each other. We're trying to make a move onto the inside of the Alpha. He gives us the spot there, and we're able to go into the inside. But now we're going side by side. He gets a better exit than us coming out of that right-hander. And we have to concede the 12th place position as we're now getting pressured by 14th as he's going to try to make a move onto the inside. But we're going to cover the inside here as we head into the chicane. Coming into the chicane, breaking right after the 100-meter board, trying to hold our position, and we're able to do so as we come into the left-hander now, leading us into the right-hander. It's going to lead us into the long sweeping right, and we're able to hold off 13 places. So there's a car ahead of us that actually has a penalty. So coming into the long right-hander, that's going to lead us into the straightaway. We're staying right behind the 12th place cars. We almost clipped the grass and spin out there. We're able to hold it together as we jump up into lap number 3. So coming into lap number 3, we're heading to the left-handers again. And we can see how much time we just gained on the Alpha on these left-handers as we back out of the move again there. As we just gained so much momentum coming out of those 4 left corners. I don't think the 12th place can really get that spot really well. So we had to back out of there so we don't repeat the same thing that we did in the lap previous where we made contact with him and almost spun him out. So back out of the move there as we head into this little straightaway, heading us into this hairpin here. Try to break as late as we can as we try to make a move onto the inside, but we're a little too far back. So we have to hold our position now and wait another turn as we're going to come into the end of lap number 3. So coming to the end of lap number 3, jumping into lap number 4, you see the Alpha ahead of us is trying to make a move onto the inside. He actually makes contact with the other Alpha, and he actually holds up the 2 cars behind him. And we're making a move onto the outside. Inside, we make a position. We make up 2 position in a span of 2 corners. And we were able to make a brilliant overtake on 2 cars as they both kind of went out wide, and one of them got forced out wide by the Alpha. So we're out now in 11th place. As you can see, the 10th place Alpha goes out wide again on his 4 left-handers. And we're trying to make a move onto the inside now as we just don't have enough momentum now to come down the straightaway. And we're going to stay behind him as we come into the S-curves. We're staying right behind the 10th place here as he's getting a really bad entrance going into this left-hander here. And that's going to give us momentum as we come out into this right-hander. Staying right behind him before we hit the hairpin. So breaking right after the 100-meter board. He actually gives us a little bit of space on the inside. We make a little bit of contact with him. He gets a little loose coming down. That's going to give us the advantage to try to make a move onto the inside. As we're in the slipstream now, we're trying to make a move onto the inside, and we're in the slipstream of 9th place, so that should be able to help us out now. As we're going side by side heading into the chicane, we're going to make a move onto the inside. It's going to be whoever breaks latest. We break later than him, and we're able to hold the spot there as we're able to make the overtake now heading into the chicane, almost spinning out as we come out of the right-hander now and jumping up into lap number 7. So coming into lap number 7, we're right behind the Renault right ahead of us as he just got overtaken by the Alpha. We're just trying to catch up to him, see if we could get close enough to make an overtake as we head into the hairpin. Coming to the hairpin, breaking right after the 100-meter board. We're just too far back to try to make any type of move. So we have to fall back in line with him and just stay right behind the slipstream. And at this point, I'm just kind of mainly focusing on not only track position, but the fuel situation here as we're heading to the chicane. As we jump up into lap number 8 now. We're staying right behind these 2 cars ahead of us. This is the Alpha and the other Renault. They're both going side by side as they head into the first corner. And that invites us to try to make a move onto the inside of the Renault as he's getting very, very wide coming out of the second corner. But we have to back out of there as he cuts us off heading out of the second corner. Now heading down the straightaway, we're still right behind 8th place as we're trying to just short shift here and just save as much fuel as we can so we can stay on these mediums as long as we can. As we head into this 4 left-hander here. Coming to the 4 left-hand turns. You see the Renault's trying to make a move onto the inside of the Alpha as he goes very, very wide. The Renault actually makes contact with him. We make contact with the Renault, and we're able to overtake him on the outside. That very unintentional there as we kind of made contact with him there, but he made contact with the Alpha and just kind of got loose coming out of that final corner, and we just unluckily got involved with him. So coming now down into lap number 9, that's going to lead us into lap number 10. We're making a move onto the Alpha as the car ahead of us actually went into the pits. We're going side by side now as we head into turn number 1 and 2. We try to brake as late as we can. Tries to make a cutback, but he actually doesn't, and he actually makes contact with us, so we get bumped up from behind. But we're able to hold the position off as we are now promoted into 5th place as we are heading down the straightaway, leading us into the 4 left-handers. So coming to the end of lap number 11 now, we're going to have to make our pit stop here. As you can see on the bottom left, the fuel situation is really, really bad as we make a very, very bad entrance going into that corner. And we're going to actually lose 3rd place because of that. So we're going to need to follow him into the pit stops as we're heading into the final corner now. Waiting right behind him in the slipstream. Now as we come into the pits, we're going to switch off again from the mediums to the hards. Put in as much fuel as we need to finish this race. And as you see, we wait here, put on the hards now. And we're just going to wait now and try to put as much fuel as we can without losing too many spots here. As you see, us and about 4 other cars that decided to come in, 5 now that I count here. And we come out in 9th place, it looks like. Yes, oh no, 6th place. So we come out in 6th place, actually lose another position as we head into this right-hander. Left the Renault ahead of us as we actually were able to make an overtake on the Alpha in the pits. So not sure if he didn't save enough fuel and he had to put more fuel in, causing him to wait longer in the pits, but we come out ahead of him. So now we just have to focus on running as hard as we can and just making up as many positions as we can as we are now on the hards. And I believe everybody else is going to be on the hards ahead of us. So focusing now on the Renault as we head into this 4 left-handers. We're kind of gaining time on him as we come out of these 4 left-handers. And you can see that we're just a little bit quicker than him as we come into the S curves now. Coming to chicane, we're almost on his back bumper now as we come into the right and left corner. Coming out of the left corner here, we're still right behind the Renault as we're actually getting closer to him. Coming out of his right corner. He actually gets a little bit loose as we come down the straightaway. That's going to lead us into the final right-hand corner. Staying right behind him on the bumper. We actually try to make a look onto the inside. And then we're on the inside of him now as we're going side by side coming out of the corner. We're staying on the inside here as we're going down the straightaway. He actually taps us and we get spun out. We get taken out on the straightaway and get a 1-second penalty. And we are done for. We got taken out on lap 12 by the Renault. Not sure why he did that as we're coming back onto the racetrack now. Let's go to the replay. We're on the Renault here, riding along with them. Making a move onto the inside here. We're going side by side. Give him enough space on the outside there. He just goes out a little bit wide and just takes us out. I don't know why he took us out like that, but we are out of the race now as we were fighting for 6th place. And now we are back in 12th place with a 1-second penalty. Very, very frustrating there as just I don't know exactly why he took us out right there. I don't know. I'm lost for words right now because of how bad of a move that was from him. But having to continue our race now as we're coming out of the hairpin, going down to the penalty zone, having to serve our penalty. We lose a second there as you see the car right behind us is catching up to us. He makes a move onto the outside as we give him the space there. It's actually the colorful Alpha ahead of us that spun out on lap number 1. So demoted all the way down to 13th place because of that move by the Renault. I don't have any words for that. It's just very, very frustrating, especially because of how hard we were racing and how good we were going up into the field. Just to be taken out like that just really, really sucks now. As we come into the final lap now, heading into turn number 1 on the final lap, we're now behind the Renault. And I don't know, I believe it's the Mazda right ahead of us, but we make contact a little bit with the Renault there as he goes a little bit wide. We're on the straightaway now, so we're able to make up a position going down the straightaway, leading us into the left-hander here. We're staying right behind 11th place as we're going to head into this 4 left-handers here. Just try to catch up as close as we can to 11th and 10th as he actually goes a little bit wide heading into these 4 left-hand corners. And we get a good run coming out of the corner there as we're heading down the straightaway. That's going to lead us into the right corner. So still right behind 11th place as we head a little bit further into the lap now. Jumping a little bit more further, we're heading into the hairpin. You see 9th and 10th are fighting with each other, so hopefully that could invite us to try to fight with them and try to make a move up to them and at least finish in the top 10 as we have half a lap left now to try to catch up to them and try to make a position now as we're heading down into the straightaway leading us into the chicane. So coming to the chicane, breaking right after the 100-meter board. We're still right behind 11th place, just trying to make as much time as we can on him. Try to get a good exit here as we're going to try to stay right behind him and follow him on the slipstream. Attempt to make an overtake going down the straightaway as we're coming to the final corner. Coming to the final corner, you see that we are almost out of field now as we get a really good exit. We get a really good exit now out of the final corner. We're on the slipstream of 11th. Try to make a move onto the inside, and we are unable to make up the position as we finish this race in 12th place. So very, very disappointing there. Again, just I can't believe we got turned on that lap for absolutely nothing, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe you guys saw something differently, but that's just very disappointing. Just really bad racing there from that guy's. Again, we were fighting for 6th place, and we get taken out. So very frustrating ending to this race. I wish we could go back and change something there, but have to finish in 12th place. Wait for the next race, as I don't know if we're gonna be performing anything on Saturday or if we're gonna be doing it on Tuesday. But yeah, again, very disappointed, as we could have probably made a lot more points. So we're gonna finish this race with 127 points. And yeah, so if you guys found this video really entertaining, again, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like on the videos. It really helps out the channel when you guys do so. And hope to see you guys on the next video. Peace out.